Alan Stanford first began to build his fortune in the early 1980s. The area was in an economic recession, and Stanford's investment group made a killing buying up real estate in depressed areas and strategically selling them off after the market had recovered. With seed capital from this company, Stanford moved to the Caribbean and started Guardian International Bank on the island of Montserrat, but was soon forced to move to Antigua due to a British government crackdown on shady offshore banks. The newly renamed Stanford International Bank, under the umbrella of parent company Stanford Financial, operated for the next 2 decades and seemed to offer impossible returns on investment. Stanford had amassed a personal fortune of over $2 billion when it all came crashing down beginning in early February 2009. Based on statements given by a former Stanford financial executive, the Securities and Exchange Commission announced that they were launching an investigation of Stanford Financial, questioning the ridiculously high returns the company was offering its investors. The former executive claimed that purely hypothetical financial data was presented to potential investors as facts. By late February, Stanford Financial's offices were being raided by federal agents, and Stanford was being charged in a massive ongoing $8 billion fraud. SEC investigators would later describe it as a Ponzi scheme, siphoning billions from investors while blatantly falsifying records to make it appear as if investments were generating a profit. In reality, the SEC claimed that the company had no income and that its bank statements were complete fiction. While awaiting trial, all of Stanford's banks and business holdings were taken over by various governments. After several health-related delays, he was finally put on trial in early 2012. A jury took only 3 hours to convict him of 14 charges related to his outrageous fraud, in addition to fines and penalties totaling more than $12 billion, far more than he was ever worth. Stanford was sentenced to 110 years in a federal prison. His earliest possible release date is in 2105, provided he can manage to live to 155. Still, he did get less than half the sentence prosecutors had asked for.